Greetings everybody and welcome to the Sandcat channel. My name is Dr. Matthew Chahadi and I have dedicated this channel on YouTube for all of you listeners to learn all you can about this wonderful creature called the Sandcat. And so today's episode will deal with the topic of maintaining sandcat populations in captivity. So as we all know that the sandcat is not exactly abounding in numbers, it is actually an endangered species. Fortunately, on this scale of most to least endangered, it falls under the category of least concern. So it's not totally, it's not almost extinct, but we have to be careful in maintaining the populations of sandcats in the wild because they live in desert areas, which is a very difficult environment to live in. So a number of zoos have been actively trying to maintain sandcat populations. How do they do this? Well, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, they have established captive breeding programs. These methods include things such as artificial insemination, or AI, in vitro fertilization, or IVF, embryo transfer, ET, and the goal of these organizations is to maintain 90% of sandcat genetic diversity for at least the next 50 to 100 years, so that these animals, they don't go ultimately extinct. So for this you have to gather sperm from male sandcat donors, and they put them into cryopreservation tubes. And so genetic diversity is low in captivity in zoos, where they have like a very low number of sandcats. So therefore, they bring in sandcat sperm donors from the wild. They capture them and then they bring them into the lab. They take sperm from them. The sperm is collected for the two methods that I mentioned previously: artificial insemination or in vitro fertilization. And then the donor cats are then released back into the wild. Cats in the wild have a higher chance of carrying different genes or different gene variants to protect against inbreeding, and this is why they're doing this donor capture program. So for example, if we have sandcats in zoos, and they only have like two gene variants for a particular gene, denoted with green and blue colors, if they capture a cat from outside, from the wild, which has a third gene variant represented in red, if they get the sperm from the sperm donor, then they can inseminate females in zoos, and then they can keep up the genetic diversity in the zoo population. So this is how it works. You have a higher diversity in the wild, and so that's why they bring in these males from the wild, so that with their sperm they can keep up the genetic diversity in the captive populations in zoos. So let's compare artificial insemination versus in vitro fertilization. What are the advantages and disadvantages of the two? Artificial insemination, it involves inseminating a female sandcat with donor sperm, that is, inseminating the animal itself. This is a more natural process, but it needs a larger quantity of sperm to be collected from the males. On the other hand, you have in vitro fertilization, whereby the fertilization takes place in a test tube, and so therefore you have test tube cats. This involves a smaller quantity of sperm, where the meeting of the sperm and the egg they're controlled in a very directed, controlled manner. And so after in vitro fertilization, the embryos are then transferred in a tube into the mother cat's uterus, so that the baby kittens can develop there. But this is less natural and also more prone to birth defects. And so here's just an image of several of these cat embryos, some microscopic images. These have undergone a couple of divisions. You can see that they're in the 4-cell stage. And actually, here are some products of artificial insemination and IVF in sandcats. You can see two newborn kittens on the left, and this one very adorable looking little kitten on the right. This is just some literature if you want to read more on how they do sperm cryopreservation and how they maintain sandcat populations in the scientific literature. You can read a paper in 2009 by Herrick et al. In the journal Biology of Reproduction titled In Vitro Fertilization and Sperm Cryopreservation in the Black-Footed Cat and Sandcat. And so lastly, please like this video in the box below the thumbs up sign. And also if you want to see more videos on sandcats and if you want to support sandcat education, please visit the link below. And thank you very much for watching.